And with this shift, what people view as common sense has changed as well. The basic categories assumed in the Christian story are no longer taken for granted. And in many cases, this gospel story is presumed to not only be false, but an impressive leftover from the past. Living in this increasingly post-Christian context means believers should no longer expect the ministry strategies of a bygone, friendlier context to be as effective. In more secular contexts, in major cities or with just about anyone under the age of around 40, the need to have a practical apologetic, a way to make a defense and appeal for Christianity, is as vital as ever. Part 1 of this book answers the questions of what has changed, why this matters, and how apologetics can be applied in everyday life. Part 2 provides trajectories for engaging others with the gospel using a framework called Inside Out. Because, as the philosopher Charles Taylor has written, we are in fact all acting, thinking, and feeling out of backgrounds and frameworks which we do not fully understand. It is these frameworks, or as we will refer to them, stories that we must learn to interact with. The challenge is that most of these stories loom in the background of people's lives, framing what is good, true, and beautiful without them being fully aware of the script. Inside Out offers a way to interact with these shifting plausibility structures and with our culture's most popular storylines, while keeping the gospel at the center. The aim of these chapters is not to improve your storytelling in general, but rather to model a way to tell God's story as a better story than its rival stories. Part 3 explores 3 general challenges posed to the Christian story itself. 1. Is the Christian story oppressive? 2. Is it an unloving story? 3. Is it simply not true? We will see that while these challenges aren't to be taken lightly, they also serve as opportunities to contrast secular scripts with God's story and to speak with the faith, hope, and love that emanates from the one who entered into our story. Part 1. A Better Story About Apologetics. Chapter 1. In Search of a Better Way. Once upon a time, our descendants gathered around campfires and told stories to explain the world. By passing down primitive tales, they gave each other myths to provide meaning and direction in life. That was then, but now we've come of age. Science, reason, and technology have freed us from the captivity of such enchanted fairy tales. We now have our computers, algorithms, and common sense reason as our guides to live better lives and to make a better world. Or so we're told. The problem with this anti-story tale is that no one escapes the need for stories. We may invent new technology, but we aren't doing away with them. We are just inventing new mediums by which to pass them down. The likes of Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube have replaced our sage elders around the campfire, but the stories are still being told. Our big life-explaining stories, often called meta-narratives, are communicated through a myriad of smaller stories we hear and tell each day, and they frame how we live and answer the big questions of life. Who are we? What is the meaning of life? What is the fundamental problem, and how can it be fixed? Is there reason to have hope? The need to listen closely. Christians should pay close attention to how, even in the most enlightened modern cultures, our novels and movies remind us of the human hunger for something beyond this world. Tim Keller recounts how prior to the release of the first Lord of the Rings movie, there was a host of articles by literary critics and other cultural elites lamenting the popular appeal of fantasies, myths, and legends, so many of which, in their thinking, promoted regressive views. Modern people are supposed to be more realistic. We should realize that things are not black and white, but gray, that happy endings are cruel because life is not like that. He cites an article in The New Yorker that chides fans of Tolkien's novel. It is a book that bristles with bravado, and yet to give into it, to cave into it, to really enjoy it, as most of us did on a first reading, betrays a reluctance to face the finer shades of life that verges on the cowardly. Yet, despite such calls for realism, we can't seem to help ourselves. The popularity of Stranger Things and Marvel superhero movies, as well as the intergenerational Star Wars craze, reveals that it is not just realistic narratives we crave. As Alan Jacobs observes, the love of such fantastical stories and a fascination with the paranormal aren't signs that this story of enlightened disenchantment has failed to color the lenses by which we view the world, but that it generally has, and sometimes we hate it. It's as if we have inherited glasses that screen out the vision of an otherworldly hope to suppose